Hello friends, Jim here with Science Talk. Another story about T-Rex. And this has to deal with baby T-Rex. What it looked like as a young hatchling. And the indicators are that it was an adorable ball of fluff. So basically what the researchers are now indicating is that baby T-Rex was covered in basically downy feathers. So if this is true, and obviously they have the evidence to indicate that, this in my opinion further blurs the line between birds and dinosaurs. This is my take on it. Very fascinating. We know that birds arose from a group of theropods, of which T-Rex is an example of theropod, as is Velociraptor, Allosaur. Basically, a lot of the two-legged meat-eating dinosaurs were all groups of the theropods. And we know that a group of the theropods would evolve into birds. Well, we know that Velociraptor was covered in feathers. We now seen evidence that baby T-Rex is covered in downy feathers. So, in essence, what separates a dinosaur from a bird is probably wings at this point. So you can now think of birds as flying dinosaurs. And I did a video some time ago. We're talking about the origin of birds and dinosaurs are really birds, that kind of stuff. So you can go scroll through the library and check out that video, please. What's the other interesting thing about the T-Rex hatchlings was the length of their forearms. Now, we all know that the adult T-Rex had what a lot of people think of were useless little forearms. I mean, it's they probably couldn't even scratch their nose with their little tiny forelimbs. Well, the evidence now is that the forearms of the baby T-Rex, the hatchling, was longer in proportion to their tiny bodies than they were in adults. And by the way, there is speculation now that the small forelimbs of T-Rex did have a purpose to hold whatever it is they were chomping on. They can actually reach down with their forelimb, hold what the T-Rex was eating on, so that it can take a bite out of it with its powerful jaws. What's interesting about the feathers is that it likely grew along the animal's head and tail into adulthood, and this is based on new reconstructions that represent the most accurate models of the dinosaur to date. Okay. And so it's likely that all the Tyrannosaurus cousins also had feathers. So this is, and by the way, the American Museum of Natural History in New York City has some exhibits about this, and showcasing the new discoveries as scientists learn more about these animals. So some words about the exhibit in the American Museum of Natural History. And I was there several years ago, and the last time I was there before my last visit was something like 20, 30, close to 30 years ago, maybe even longer, who knows. And but they redid all the dinosaurs. In fact, next to each of the dinosaur specimens is a cladogram. So it shows the relationship of the dinosaurs in evolutionary terms. And yeah, they redid the T-Rex, they redid the Patasaur, Diplodocus. It is quite excellent. If you are ever in New York City and have a day or two that you want to spend at the American Museum of Natural History alongside the next door Hayden Planetarium, I highly recommend it. So most of the going back to this exhibit, most of the time the Tyrannosaurus species were unknown to science prior to 2000. Martin Schweibacher, who is an exhibition writer at the American Museum of Natural History, said this: early Tyrannosaurs first appeared about 167 million years ago, around 100 million years before T. rex appeared in the Cretaceous. These early Tyrannosaurs had relatively long arms, were smaller and faster than the big boy T. rex. But now we're finding that T. rex wasn't always as large. You don't just immediately pop up and be a large creature. There are evolutionary steps along the way. So the exhibit actually has a little fluffy model of a baby T. rex, and it demonstrates the dinosaur's dramatic growth from the small hatchling into the very large adult. And it was about 20 years before it would reach adulthood, and the adult T. rex would stand 12 to 13 feet at the hip. Right, so it's still taller, okay, which is about almost 4 meters up off the ground. It was 12 to 13 meters in length, about 43 feet on average, from nose to the tip of the tail, and weighed about 5,500 to 8,000 kilograms, or a whopping 6 to 9 tons. Paleontologist Mark Norell is curator of both the exhibit and the Division of Paleontology at the American Museum of Natural History. He's the big boy there. He's in charge of everything that goes on there. He's an excellent paleontologist. He's done a lot of work in China. He wrote a book, Flaming Eclipse, I forget of it, but it was something in China where he talks about exhibitions there, expeditions there, excuse me, not expeditions to the Gobi Desert in China and the stuff that they found. So he's been at this for a while. He's a very good paleontologist, excellent scientist, and said he runs pretty much everything that goes on there. So they estimate that juveniles would gain about 3 kilograms per day for 13 years. This is Mark Norell making that estimate. And yeah, it most likely had feathers. Now, what's interesting is it's been known that T. rexes have these short little limbs, but few of the front limbs have actually been recovered from the fossil record. So, based on the new fossil arms that paleontologists have recently discovered, the small arms on the exhibit's adult T. rex model are even smaller than they've been portrayed in the past. So there might be a little bit of adjustment coming. But that doesn't mean their arms were weak or useless. They were not fragile. The bones are very robust, with very robust musculature attached to them. The joints are mobile, and as I said, they now speculate they had a use in holding down its food as it took bites out of it. So when you look at the T. rex hatchling, the proportion of their arms were much better matched to their body size, which means that the very young T. rex might have been able to use their arms to grasp prey and so forth. Adult T. rex may have used its arms and claws to slash at prey that had already knocked down, by basically headbutting it. And here's the interesting thing. They estimate T. rex adult had a bite force at 34,500 newtons, which is about 7,800 pounds force. The strongest of any animal living or extinct. Definitely don't get it in its mouth. Its head was adapted to apply pressure until bones just exploded, Dr. Schweibacher says. So, T. rex, the ultimate predator, is on display at the American Museum of Natural History through August 9th of 2020. So, very interesting. Baby T. rex had feathers. Cool. And had longer arms. Cool. More interesting, more information we find, the more interesting things are. Thank you for your time. Hey folks, this is Jim here reminding you to please subscribe to my channel and please share my videos with others. Also remember to click the bell so that you know when I drop in a new video. I also ask that you please consider becoming a patron of my channel and support the work that I do by going to patreon.com/Science Talk with Jim Massa, each word separated by an underscore, and becoming a patron. It's asking for as little as $3 a month, cost of a cup of coffee, to support the work I do and keep my informative videos coming your way. Thank you for your support.